What up, YouTube? Okay, Jill Scott's article. Read the article at lunch, and I really didn't see the purpose of it, what it was trying to do. And reading it, you can't help but read in between the lines, and I'm like, this pisses me off because I know how people are going to take it. You know, if you want to talk about an issue, talk about the issue. Don't, take some backdoor way, right? And try to bring up an issue, but you're not trying to put out how you feel. You know what I mean? It's just like, if I'm going to bring an issue to you guys, I'm going to have to tell you how I feel as well, right? It's like me saying, how do you feel about Democrats? And I don't really tell you how I feel. Right? Just be real. Come on, who cares what other people have to say? I could care less what people have to say. Right? Or in terms of people who just want to feel like I'm stupid or, something narrow-minded. Who cares? Come out, be real. What's good? But what pisses me off is it did the whole typical love is love. It doesn't matter who you love. It's a great thing. Okay, but black men, if you want to, do the whole interracial love, before you go, I have to give you a pamphlet. And in this pamphlet, I'm going to tell you how we've embraced you, how we supported you, how you have it a little bit easier in America. And on the flip side, we've been beat, slapped, cheated on, told we're ugly, our beauty has been smashed to the ground. I just want to let you know, right? Why are you telling me this? I just wanted to let you know for your own information. But love is love. You take care and God bless. I just had to put it out there. And I'm like, okay, for reals, you going to really play us like that? And that's what really gets me, because on the flip side, you'll have the black girl with the white guy, and you get the full story, don't you? Oh, she's been overlooked. She's been cheated on. They told her she was ugly. They said she was too dark. They didn't like her hair. She didn't look like Beyonce. Or you get the whole, she grew up middle class. She grew up upper class. What do you expect? How can you fault her? That's all she knows. Is it her fault that her parents are educated? Is it her fault that she grew up in a certain area? Right? So at the end of the day, you don't view these girls as, sellouts or racial traitors. And a lot of that's true. Like I said before, man, if you're a black chick and honestly you've been hated on, and you really feel like it, and it's like you've tried to deal with it, but you feel like you can't, do what you have to do. I'm not going to lie to you. Do what you have to do. There are some inconsiderate people, that we have in the black community, and people who have certain issues with themselves, and they project it onto other people. I'm not going to lie. That does happen. That's real. Right? Yeah, there are women out here who did grow up middle, upper class, and, they're comfortable with it. It is what it is. Do you. All I'm trying to say is, y'all get the complete story, so, you really can't say, oh, look at this sellout black girl. I mean, there's black women who don't even check for black men, even if they are on point. And I've seen these girls. A lot of them tend to be, upper middle class. Some of them are even, a freaking mix. I've seen them. Right? I went to school with them. I know what's up. And these women also, they'll run to the whole same, I grew up middle, upper class, or black men are in jail, or black men are ghetto, they're not refined. So I'm not a sellout. I'm not a sellout. I just can't find what I like, or this, that, and the third, or, their interests don't match mine, right? Or they don't like me because I'm not hood enough, or, I don't do booty shaking. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I always question who you're around, okay? Who hurt you, who disrespected you. But, if you really feel like you got disrespected on a significant level, do you, okay? And like I said, no one ever sees the black girl as a racial traitor, because the whole story comes out. But when it comes down to black men, okay, you get the whole, we supported you. Are you are you being for reals? How many black men also grew up middle and upper class, okay? And that's who they're exposed to. You never get that. Okay? You never get that, especially with Unfortunately, to me, a larger number of, white collar black men, actually coming from middle and upper class homes because their fathers are more so identifiable. Okay, you have a great deal. It is what it is, but once again, you can't say that, right? Even if he does grow up middle and upper class, it's preposterous to say that, he should have any liking for a non-black woman. Okay, how many black men have said, yo, I was told I didn't have swag, or I was corny, this, that, and the third, or I wasn't the flyest, this, that, and the third, and especially if you're darker in skin tone, oh, you're too dark, this, that, and the third. How many black men have said, have been through that? Let's be real. Let's be real. It's not to say that, it's just so bad, but, you weren't first stringer, you were a second or third stringer, so you got minimal PT, but it's the truth. Okay? What kills me is, the whole idea of embracing dark-skinned men, that's still relatively new, and you still have women talking about color this, hair this, I want my kid to have this feature, I don't want him to be this. So how the hell, okay, is the whole idea of the light-skinned dude being out of style? Like I said, darker-skinned black men have came up with this whole idea that light-skinned men are not a factor. Come on now. You know how many, just driving by the community that I work in, I can't tell you how many darker-skinned black women are running around with biracial children, or children that do not even look like them. I can't even explain to you. Can't even explain it. Right? But then these are the same black women that are talking about, they're checking for dark skin, we want the whole Morris Chestnut, this, that, and the third. But look at your child. Right? I don't want to get off topic, but like I said before, I think a lot of darker skinned black men are valued in terms of the whole Mandingo sort of stereotype. Okay? So if a black woman wants to be, or just any woman wants to be, sexed up really good, they want Tyrese. But when it comes down to who they want to have a child with, they want the Chris Brown type of dude. They want the Jason Kidd type of dude, because they know I want my kid to look a certain way. So you have a lot of dark-skinned black men who know this. So like I said, we've been through a lot of the same stuff that black women have been through in terms of growing up a certain way, in terms of being hated on. Okay? But you don't get that. All you get is the whole, we've always embraced you. As if, as soon as a black woman hits puberty, okay, she was into, the well-to-do, or, the book smart type of black guy. Or just the normal, not even the bookworm, the normal, average black dude, okay? Like, that's what they were checking for. And I'll be the first one to admit, I know I wasn't. Middle school, high school, I know what I was going after. I'm going to be real. Even my older sister will tell you. Right? To me, I don't feel guilty about it. I've actually grown so I can admit it. But you have black women who don't want to admit what they were checking for. They'll come on and swear up and down that they were always embracing, the sort of Tay Diggs sort of black man, who's well spoken, who's articulate. We've always been embracing you. Were you? Right? There's a lot of women that I can tell you I was not checking for whatsoever. Whatsoever. So like I said before, I can kind of understand how a lot of black women feel in terms of how they've been undermined, about how they grew up factors in. Right? But when it comes to black men, you don't get it. And because you don't get it, it always gets portrayed as you're the traitor, you're the betrayer. Right? You're you're this big user. We've supported you, this, that, and the third, and you turn around and you reject this. And it's stuff like this that reinforces that bullshit. This whole fear of looking back in the window. And that's what really annoys me, because once again, it just furthers the divide. That's all it does. I'm not trying to say that there's not black men out here that aren't even checking for black women. I know those dudes. They're not even checking. Right? But for the most part, you have brothers, that they weren't being checked for. Like, the funny thing is, what's this cat's name? Demon Hansu, now he's married to, Kimura Simmons, right? Had that been 20 years ago, 10 years ago, do you think she would have been checking for him? Probably not. If this had been the early 90s, I mean, I know he's got a little bit of money now, but would she have been checking for him? No. It is what it is. So just be real. But this whole lie, this whole, perpetration of half-truth or, just falsities, man, it really has to stop. Now, I'm not saying she did this directly. I'm not saying this was her intent. But I'm saying material like this, that's all it does. Right? You can't, you're only going to go so far with black men in terms of this whole, reverse psychology guilt trip, okay? Because you're not putting out the whole story. Let's be real here. Don't come on and act like, black men have always been embraced, right? Especially if they're, of a certain type of background. So y'all take it easy. God bless.